Welkom bij de leiderschapspodcast van City Life Church. Dit is Leadership Talks.
All the way down from Jakarta, Indonesia. It's great to have you with us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
And as you can tell probably by the sound, this is recorded at the Leadership Conference live. Leadership is the problem, and leadership is the answer.
Yeah.
Can you give us a few thoughts on this one?
Well, everything lies on the leadership, isn't it? I mean, as a leader, you decide and you set the atmosphere of the building, the atmosphere of your organization. That's why leader is very important. Leader make this decision. I always have my own illustration about the leader, especially the senior leadership. I use an illustration like a leader is a pilot. You know, it determines where the plane is going. But if the leader is the pilot, that means that it cannot be bothered. You will never see pilot is going up and down the aisle and serving the people and all of that, because he is focused in flying the plane where to go. But he has to have a good communication with all the steward and stewardess who's serving all the people. That's the kind of leadership that I always have in mind.
Yeah. Beautiful.
So that you can focus and you don't fall into a trap. And at the same time, you have to raise others, other team to helping you serving the people.
Co-pilots, technicians, the crew in the plane. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Now you studied in Delft.
Yes.
Kan ook een beetje Nederlands praten.
Een klein beetje.
Klein beetje. You studied in Delft. You know the Netherlands, and you're pastoring quite a big church in Jakarta.
Yes.
Many thousands of people there.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about the culture difference, the Netherlands and Indonesia, in giving leadership to, in our cases, a church?
The culture in the Netherlands and in Indonesia. You know what? I live in Jakarta. Jakarta is the hoofdstad, the capital city, and in the daytime they say there's about 15 million people in Jakarta. It's very busy. Always traffic everywhere you go, and the lifestyle of the people, because of that, is very different than here in the Netherlands. Fernando just said, we don't want to stuck in the traffic, but all the way here I don't see any traffic. So his perception about traffic is way different than my perception about traffic. And I pray that one day he has a chance to come to Indonesia and feel it himself. How someone is literally stuck in the traffic. But then again, unlike here in the Netherlands, we have the privilege in our home to have a housemate. You know, it depends on how big is your house. Sometimes people have 2, 3, 4, 8 housemates that help you to arrange your house, to clean your house, to do the dishes and everything. So as a person, as the head of the house, of the family, you don't have to do that because someone else is doing it for you. Of course, you have to pay them.
In the Netherlands, it sounds like a dream.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that's different culture, meaning that probably in the church setting, here in the Netherlands, as a leader, you have to always aware of the time of the people, that you cannot easily ask them to come and to do meetings or to do volunteering because they have to take care of their children, especially if they have babies and stuff. As a leader, you need to be aware of that.
Yeah.
For us, you can call them at any time because they have someone that can help them taking care of their babies, babysitters and all of that.
Yeah.
But then, again, to come to the event, they probably will be stuck
Yeah.
in the traffic for 1 hour or something like that. So that's what I see. Most of the time. That's why when I come here, I'm just like a relief for me, in terms of the traffic and all of that. I can do more here with my time than back home. But I have to be smart in dealing with that, in setting all my priorities. That's why if people here see my agenda, they will probably go crazy because it's totally different setting, different type of life. But Erald, it doesn't matter what the culture is. Our calling is to bring the kingdom cultures on the earth.
Yeah.
So I think that's the most important thing. Our job as a leader, as pastors. We can talk about the differences about culture. Probably South American culture is totally different than the Netherlands, and the Netherlands is totally different than the Indonesian. But all of the cultures need to bow down to the culture of Christ, to the kingdom culture, and that's what we long for.
Yeah.
And Jesus said that your kingdom comes here on earth as it is in heaven.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we don't have to discuss about the differences about our culture. But we need to focus on bringing the culture of God, the culture of the kingdom of God here on earth.
Yeah. Beautiful. Indonesia, what we hear is they call themselves a Muslim country. But you have right now happening open air worship concert. Is that all?
Yeah, Indonesia is actually not a Muslim country. It is a country with the most Muslim population in the whole world, but it is not a Muslim country. So we have a freedom of religion. But of course, you have to know where you are. You have to know that you are the minority, and you have to behave. You know. But I think it's totally understandable. Wherever you are in which setting you are in the whole world, as a minority, you have to behave. Even I think the other way around here, if you are a Muslim person and you are in a Christian country, then you have to know that you are the minority. That you need to behave. You need to be respectful to others. And that's the way we live our lives.
You have a big church, a full agenda. You said, what are your main focuses in leading the church and doing what you do? You talked about being the pilot of the plane. Can you take a few moments? What are your main focuses?
Well,
in your kind of daily.
My main focus is different every season, as you know, because I look at it as it's funny when the first time the Lord spoke to me to build a church. I didn't want to have a church. I don't like to be a pastor.
No?
No, not at all. No? I never have a dream to be a pastor. I like being an evangelist, speaking, itinerant minister, where you get invitation, you come, you preach, you go back home. You don't have to deal with people.
That sounds like a dream too. having a housemate and just traveling around.
That's what I want. That's what I want.
And
you
go.
know,
Yeah.
that's what I want. But then the Lord has His own ways and His own plan. And I never want to be a pastor because
Can you
I
briefly,
know.
why not?
Because I know what it takes to be a pastor.
Because now you are a pastor.
I'm now a pastor, and that's why.
Yeah.
That's why.
But
you know,
I'm sure there's people here having a little bit of the same doubts. So can you help us a bit? Why did you
the
not
challenge
want
is
to
the challenge is bigger because you stay in one place. Everybody look at you, the way you talk, the way you move, what you wear. You know, your car, your watch, your sunglasses, your hairstyle, your shoes. It's just like you are in the center of attention, and people want to know.
kind of living in the glass house?
Yeah, people want to know, how do you cope with this? How do you live your Christian life? How you acting what you believe? And sometimes that can be very scary. Sometimes, but since I was in the role, I accept the role 23 years ago. I find it challenging, and I like the challenge.
Yeah.
I really like the challenge. Yeah, I want to show the people that, look, Christianity is about life. It's not so much about what you say, but how you live, what you do. And you don't have to pretend. You can be just yourself.
Yeah.
And it, again, as a leader, how you will set the atmosphere of your building, the atmosphere of the room. You know, if you look to perfection, then all the other people will look at you as a perfect leader. Then they always find fault in you, and they will disappoint it. But if you act yourself as a human being that love God, love Jesus, and trying your best to serve Him and to serve the people, and that you are able to make mistake, and as long as you are responsible for your mistake and you admit your mistake and learn from your mistake, you're okay. You will find that they're also okay with you, and they can learn from you, and that's what I find interesting. So when I say yes to God, I said, God, I want to do this, but I don't have any experience. But the beautiful thing at that moment was I just had my first baby. 3 months, 4 months, and the Lord spoke to me, just like you raise your baby, I want you to raise your church, just like that.
Wow. Yeah.
So I always take care of my own baby. I don't have any babysitter at that time. Me with my wife, we decided to take care of our own baby. And how I treat my baby, how I love my baby, how I, giving him food and everything, protect him, love him, that's the same way I do it with my church. And of course, my baby, my son is growing, and in every stages, as parents, I adjust myself, So that's why if you ask what my focus is now, because the church is already 23 years old, my focus now is to prepare the succession. Who is gonna run this church next? Because I don't want to run this church as long as I live, because I know that I still have, now I know that I already live 2/3 of my life, and I still have 1/3 that I know exactly what I want to do, but it is not forever pastoring. And again, I also want to show the people that a healthy church can easily do the succession to the next generation, and I want to show them that I already prepare so many other younger leaders that are capable to do what I do.
Wow.
And that's my focus at this moment.
That's something different than I expected, but that's yeah, you're a successor.
Actually, this is my first time publicly said about this. But my core team already know.
It will be
my core team already know.
Oh, they know. Okay.
My core team already know because actually
But you're still a young man. You're still a very young man. Yeah.
I know. But there is no perfect time in doing that. The perfect time is when you realize that you need to prepare the next generation.
Yeah.
The perfect time is when you realize that you need someone to replace you. That's the perfect time. If you prolong that time, it will be harder and harder and harder.
Yeah.
And I saw a lot of leaders miss the momentum.
Yeah.
And they have no other reason to step down. And then they have to carry on until they are 80s, 90s, and I don't want
that's
to be
not your plan. No,
I don't want to be like that.
it's not my plan either. No.
I don't want to be like that.
So raising up, can we zoom in a few minutes? It's a big topic, but also very relevant. Raising up the next generations.
Yeah.
As far as I know you a little bit, you do that very much on purpose. You work hard on that.
Yeah.
Can you share us a little bit? What do you do? How does that look like?
Well, I always have this in mind, that your gift is never far from you. You know, so the next young leaders is never far from you. David is never far from Saul. But the thing is, Saul didn't recognize David. That's the thing.
Yeah.
But David never, far away from Saul. He's in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
You know, is surrounding him. But you need to purposely find your David. And that's what I did.
Yeah. You found him already?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh. But you're not going to announce it.
No, of course not.
Yeah. Does your team know?
Well, they know. I mean, we built such a great team. We are the same person from the get-go. So I've never have anyone leave me. Since the moment we began. So I purposely built the team and have intimacy with each other. I mean, we are so close, and we do that purposely. Every year we travel together. We spend budget to have holiday together and to get to know each other. You know, not only us men, but the wives also. You know, they can get along one to another.
With the team, you mean?
Yeah.
You're like your key core.
Yeah, all the pastors. Sometimes we men can be very close, but our wives is wow.
Yeah. They right? Yeah. Everyone do. Yeah.
We can be friends, but our wife cannot be friends. And that's problem, you know. And that's problem. But since I know the I think the advantage that I have is that when I was here, I hosted so many pastors. When I was here studying, back then, you know, we were just my parents just, you know, in the stage where they are on fire for God, you know, ministering and serving, helping people, and get to know a lot of pastors, big names and all of that. And whenever they know that any of the pastors want to come to Holland for ministering, they always call them, all the pastors, you know, to reach me, you know, or they will call me to serve them.
Yeah.
So I couldn't remember how many times I went to the airport just to pick them up.
Yeah.
Maybe hundreds of times in 5 years that I live here in the Netherlands.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Because every time my mom was calling me, said, Jeffrey, you have to pick up this person because he wants to come to the Netherlands or he wants to transit in the Netherlands for a few days. You have to take care of them. You have to take them out. And most of the time, my parents asked for me to move out from my apartment so that they can stay in my apartment.
Oh, really?
In my student apartment.
Oh.
So,
In Delft.
I got to know how they live.
Yeah.
I got to know how they interact with their spouses. I got to know, how they live off the pulpit.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them, I don't want to be like them. Some. I said, if I become a pastor, I don't want to be like them. I don't want to be like them. I want to be like this person. I want to be like that person.
Yeah.
But certainly I don't want to see, I don't want to become like them. And that gives me perspective.
Yeah.
And that's my advantage.
Mm-hmm.
But at that time, I felt the burden because I have to go to the airport waiting for them, and then they have to go back, and then they have to take them around, take them to the Maduro Dam, take them to Scheveningen, to see Sadek, to see the red light district and all of that.
Oh, you're not supposed to show them, the pastors.
Some of them wants to see, so.
International pastors. Big names. They want to see the red light district.
A few of them wants to see.
And you dropped them off. You said, well, at the end of the street.
Some of them wants to see because they probably gonna get some illustration for their hell sermon about hell or something like that. I don't know.
Those were the pastors that you thought, I'm not going to be like them. Okay. So a few minutes left, but this is quite important. We're talking a little bit about your focus as a pastor, senior pastor. Now there's a lot of pastors here in the room today. Building that core team.
Yeah.
You mentioned a bit.
Yeah.
You go with the couples.
Yeah.
A few more thoughts on what helps to build the core team, core leadership team.
You have to trust them. You have to trust them. You have to honor them and to value them, especially. Because they are the supporting system. Without them, you cannot do anything.
Yeah.
So they mean the world to me. Nowadays, I probably only make 5% of the decision of the church. 95% is done by them.
Wow.
Yeah, at this moment.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I always said this: if you want to win the man, you need to win the heart first, and that's your first job. Because if you win the heart, you win the man. So, if you want to build a strong team, you need to be intimate with them, and to be intimate with them, then you need to know how to go to their heart.
Yeah.
And it's not easy. You need to be open first, because you cannot ask them to be open to you if you are not the one who opened first.
Yeah.
So I have to be open to them, talking about my weaknesses, talking about my shortcoming, talking about my fear, talking about what I'm worried about, and all of those things. And that draw us closer and closer. And they began to share what they're afraid of, what their weaknesses are, and so that we can carry the burden together.
Yeah.
And that's how we work as a team, because we can back up each other,
Yeah.
and we can use our strength to our benefit.
Yeah. Beautiful. Last question, just for our picture. How big is your core team? How many
Well,
couples would you say?
I just elected 8 other pastors, and most of them are below 40, the age. So that's the part of the succession process.
8 other couples, so
Yeah.
to speak. Yeah.
Their age is below 40, so that's been a part of the succession process that I've done.
Yeah.
And altogether is 19 pastors. And then around that, we have a lot of people also who are volunteering, but very, very close, and they become a core team with us. So altogether, if you ask me, the very, very core team in our church, probably about 50.
Yeah.
With their wife included.
Yeah.
For 50, probably.
Yeah, because otherwise.
Yeah, because I always include.
This happens.
I always include the wife. Always include the spouses. Always include them because I saw them as one. As one. Husband and wife, but I saw them as one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Problem. That's all?
Our time is
that's
up.
easy.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for watching or listening to Leadership Podcast. We had a great talk with Pastor Jeffrey. Thank you for your coming.
Thank you.
Especially in the season this weekend that you have such a big thing happening in your own city and your own church. So hope you like it and share it with friends if you're here and see what we're doing. See you next month, every 4th Tuesday of the month, Leadership Talks. See you next month.